All right, little people, today we're gonna be going over properties of
Oh,
Exxon.
class up on the road.
I'm sorry, I said properties of Exxon. I mean properties of logarithm. Yeah, I'm gonna put some stuff up here that you should be quite familiar with.
Yes, sir.
If I write this guy in logarithm form, I'm gonna write it below. It'll be log base b of m times n equals x plus y. No one disputes that. It is without question an irrefutable mathematical fact. A mathematical irrefutable fact.
So that's some of my.
You kind of want someone to bring us up.
Of course, all this junk and stuff needs to be retained. It's like vitamins, sir. When you eat, you're taking vitamins, or else you're malnourished. All right, normally I wouldn't ask this question, but you guys are the smart class. I think I can ask it. What is X and what is Y, by the way? In reference to this whole scenario.
Exponents?
Right, but very good. Everything you said they're definitely variables, they're definitely exponents. Okay, let me ask you this, in terms of a logarithm, based on the current scenario, what is X and what is Y?
I feel like this is like an easy question.
Okay.
It's the one he's asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna take full responsibility. Maybe I'm not asking it correctly. But basically, X is log base B of M, correct?
Oh.
And Y is log base B of N. So I didn't ask that correctly. I take full responsibility. So I'm gonna substitute those values for X and Y if I'm allowed to. So log base B of M times M is log base B of M plus log base B of N. That's the first little property, folks.
That makes sense.
Now, how this is useful, you're not gonna get the real usefulness of this right now in this year of your learning. But when you get to more advanced levels of mathematics, you have these very complicated long expressions. And all you wanna do is make it simple. And you wanna condense it. And so if I have a bunch of logarithms being added, I'm allowed to condense them down to one logarithm based off this property. It becomes quite useful. Now, again, normally I wouldn't ask this question, but this is the smart class. So normally I would work this out, but again, I'm amongst greatness. And if it was M divided by N instead of M times N, how do you think the rest of that would change?
You'll just have, would it be flipped when it's on one side?
So what do you mean by flip?
Wouldn't that be log? Technically, M is X, so X will be on top, log. Log B, log base B N over log base B M.
That's a very logical thing. There's nothing wrong being wrong. I'm wrong 84,000 times a day. It's all part of the process. When you work on stuff, you're going to be wrong. But let's think now. We understand logarithms find exponents, right? And this scenario here was based off the properties of exponents, because when you were in that elementary algebra class, they told you if you multiply, you add exponents, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What they tell you to do when you divide? Subtract. So the only difference is there's a minus sign there. So that's the second property. And again, it goes right in line with what they taught you in those elementary algebra classes.
I'm just saying it's sleepy, so he's not, he was over in about to be able to.
Which means, you know what it means. It means the same thing as the log base b of m plus the log base b of m.
Oh.
Right? Isn't that what this first guy is saying?
Yeah, but that means time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like this is being multiplied, and we end up
Right.
adding those mugs.
No, I'm
What?
saying like, is it, I thought, so it's not supposed to be long base and.
Oh, you thought it was, oh, no, that would be, if I put this in parentheses square like that, that's squaring the whole logarithm. This is only squaring the m. Good observation, though. I found it intellectually stimulating. But, so if I add these though, wouldn't this just be 2 log base b m? Okay,
Sure.
Nice.
but this started off as log base b m squared.
And two is just, just a lot of just up and downs.
I'm gonna find you right now. Let's say hypothetically speaking, I'm not gonna write it, you guys are all mathematical intellectuals. But let's say hypothetically speaking, this was m cubed, right? Which would be m times m, correct? Which would be log base m plus log base m plus log base m, right? Which would give you 3 of those guys, right? I said if it would be m cubed, you get 3 of those guys. Here you're seeing if it's m squared, you get 2 of those guys. So,
Oh, because there's an imaginary one in front. No?
so if it was, I'm crazy enough to write it. If it was m to the power k, what do you think it's gonna happen?
K log.
Absolutely. What else could it be? You'll get k of those mugs.
Specialized in science and mathing, original black men, busting thoughts that pierce your mental, the fierce, ripping your section. Vocal toe to toe, impeccable, splitting your back, son. Simple as addition and subtraction, black thought, the infinite relax one.